In order to understand this, we must understand the essence of life. In my introduction, we discussed the achievement of Dr. Langdon. The essence of life lies not in its specific substance, but in its form, and then we reached a further understanding that life is a non-material structure with spirituality. Material forms are not the essence of life. People are different from animals in terms of their life forms, but they are the same in terms of their essences, their non-material structures. The only differences are their structural forms. I hope we can all agree that gorillas are not humans, but only animals. However, in light of their life structures, the difference between gorillas and humans is only 0.1%. With a random comparison between rabbits, sheep, and humans, the differences between their structures is less than 0.2%. There are very few differences among the structures of Jesus, Sakyamuni, Laozi, saints, and ordinary people, but those tiny differences are enough to make huge differences in their lives' spiritual qualities. Therefore, when we say that many animals have moved on to become humans, we cannot judge them by their forms, but recognize the essences behind those forms. Otherwise, no matter how many pages I spend on it, we will never understand the transmigration and evolution of lives. So, according to that transmigration and evolution of life, it is imperishable, and this is another law about the eternal nature of life. Please refer to the evolution of life. We must now put forth this question: since the total amount of life in the universe is static, then the increases and decreases of some species are the consequences of the opposite happening to other species. What about the situation in which a life is cloned by scientists? Does this prove that the amount of life can be increased artificially? Yes, cloning does increase the amount of life. Take humans for example. Human bodies consist of trillions of cells. The universe is holographic and so are human bodies. A person can be cloned from any cell from any other person. Besides, the consciousness of life is rooted in its structure. As long as the structure does not change, the person cloned can possess the consciousness of the original person. Here comes a dangerous signal that cloning violates the natural and moral laws of the universe and destroys the symmetrical balance of life directly. Once it gets out of control, disasters will come in rapid succession and people will face catastrophes. In fact, catastrophes are not far away because of people's intelligence and wisdom. Taiji Celestial once asked me where the 1,000-year world animals come from. My answer was that they are also life and also need to face transmigration and reincarnation. The difference is that their lifespan is 10 times longer than their equivalent species on Earth. People in the mortal world can be reincarnated as animals in the 1,000-year world if they had good life qualities while they were here, because animals in the 1,000-year world live better lives than people in the mortal world. Some might ask whether the total quantity of life was determined in the beginning or if was capped after some amount of time. We all know that both the universe and life had their own origins. Since there were starting points, then the total quantity of the cosmic lives could not have been determined at the beginning, but gradually grew. After the birth of the greatest creator, he created symmetric gods with yin and yang. Then, he created angels in order to allow the universe to fill with happiness and vitality. These angels were divided into super celestial beings and Buddhas for the influence from the yin and yang gods. After the division of super celestial beings and Buddhas, in order to make them enjoy the joy of creation, under the permission and acquiescence of the greatest creator and the leadership of the gods, angels began to create lives, especially human being, according to the life blueprint endowed by him. However, because of the shortage of lower-level spaces of life, this creation destroyed life's balance of symmetry. He then implemented 2 great life extinctions events on the earth in which most lives were transferred to the yin world, the hell world. In this way, many lives were treated unjustly, so in order to balance things out, the greatest creator created the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, and Elysium world. Since then, the quantity of life in the universe has reached its limit and thus its total quantity was strictly determined. After this, Sakyamuni and Jesus were sent to the mortal world to educate people. Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, also received his divine oracle and traversed his own journey to guide people from their respective factions toward heaven. Humans have 3 origins, and this is why there are 3 major religions: Buddhism, Christianity, and Islam. The differences in the doctrines resulted from the different origins of their lives. This is just an outline of an outline, and its real complexity would be too difficult to explain clearly as it involves too many astonishing details. A little imprudence could cause major misunderstandings, so therefore it can only be perceived by heart and not explained verbally. Scientists are taking efforts to establish a unified field theory of the universe, while the gods are endeavoring to establish a unified perspective theory of human beings. Both groups are trying to unify all the inharmonious elements into the harmonious way of the greatest creator, which is why phenomena such as angels descending to the earth, Martians coming to save the earth, New Age concepts, and others are appearing. The birth of Lifechanyuan is a part of this general trend. Those with clairvoyance can smell the era changing from Lifechanyuan. Because of this, all religions except for the three listed above are heterodoxical because of their false sources and should cease their activities and disappear automatically. Owing to the different doctrines and unconquerable qualities of these three, they should compromise with each other and gradually blend together in order to safeguard the harmony of cosmic lives. In the eyes of the greatest creator, all lives are equal and share the same opportunity. As lives are imperishable, everyone, regardless of their religion, faction, nationality, or race at present, should stop thinking about maintaining their own current interest, but only consider their future direction. Life has spirituality, consciousness, reaction, and emotion, but its spirituality comes from life's origin, the psychic energy of the greatest creator, which is also the Tao in Laozi's Tao Te Ching. Tao is the blood and vitality of the universe. It runs throughout all time and space and exists in motion and variation of all material and non-material beings. As long as the greatest creator exists, Tao works. As long as Tao exists, life is imperishable. Even if we wanted to end our own life, it would be impossible. We could only kill our physical body, but we could never kill our life, because our life and Tao, the psychic energy of the greatest creator, are integrated. Owing to the eternity of Tao, the life attached to it is imperishable. This is another law of the eternity of life. Finally, let us look at whether or not the non-material structure of life will ever be faced with extinction. As we know, only energy that is attached to a structure can form a shape and play a role. We grow from germ cells into adults with complete organs and limbs under the absolute determination of the energy which attaches itself to our life structures. Without these life structures, energy could only remain energy forever, with no way of becoming constituent parts of human bodies. We can imagine that if these germ cells were divided continuously, they would eventually enter the domain of quantum mechanics and superstrings. With a further step, they would enter the dimension of the spirit and consciousness, which are non-material. All material with forms in the universe are ever-changing and able to disappear, but spirit and consciousness are not. We always say that deities lurk 1 meter above our heads, but who or what are these deities? They are non-material and intangible. Although intangible, they are substantive and will never disappear. Each material has a structure and each non-material also has one. As a result, since non-material structures cannot disappear, then these non-material structures of life will never do so either. This is another law of life's eternity. In summary, life is eternal for the following 5 reasons. The universe is eternal. The universe's morality is eternal. Life beings can transmigrate and change. The psychic energy of the greatest creator, Tao, lives forever. Non-material structures are eternal. These 5 reasons determine the law of life's eternity. If my theoretical analysis above leaves you confused, then consider the facts. What facts? From the research reports of near-death experiences and the records of reminiscences about previous lives, one can understand that life is eternal. If you have not read about them, you can still sense and feel them in your dreams. In conclusion, life is eternal.